Let's start with a provocative statement that will make a lot of passionate England fans absolutely furious. Are you ready? England is undeniably one of the most overrated teams entering the highly anticipated World Cup 2026 tournament. This isn't because they are bad, and it is certainly not because they lack world-class elite football talent. It is because millions of fans treat them like champions before they have actually won a single major trophy. And that exact mindset is precisely why a highly disciplined Croatia team becomes so incredibly dangerous to face. Most casual spectators look at this massive matchup and only see one obvious thing: the glittering English stars. We are talking about players like Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, Bukayo Saka, and the incredible Phil Foden. Together, they form a superstar squad valued at hundreds of millions of pounds. But here's the catch: there is something critical that most people completely miss: the absolute crushing weight of massive public pressure. You see, this English team is not just expected to compete. England is expected to win the entire tournament. And that is where this matchup gets interesting. Croatia enters this high-stakes game with absolutely nothing to lose. They have no massive global hype, no endless media storms, and absolutely nobody is calling them the tournament favorites. Yet somehow, against all the odds and predictions, this resilient Croatian side always finds a way to survive. Let's be completely honest: if your life depended on a single penalty shootout, who would you actually choose? Would you really pick the historically struggling England squad over the battle-tested, ice-cold players of Croatia? Exactly. This incredible resilience is not an accident. It is born of a deep-rooted culture, strong mentality, and tournament experience. Croatia has spent the last decade establishing themselves as football's ultimate, cold-blooded giant killers on the world stage. Brazil learned that hard lesson, Belgium learned it too. And yes, even England has experienced it firsthand. The uncomfortable truth is this: Croatia may not possess the better individual players, but they have better competitors. That is a scary thought for England. Now, let's dive into the most controversial part of this matchup. I believe Jude Bellingham is carrying far more individual pressure than any other single player on the pitch. Why? Because England fans and media are already treating him like the future undisputed king of world football. They see the next Ballon d'Or winner, the next global superstar. But World Cups do not care about hype. Instead, World Cups expose players ruthlessly. Every single mistake becomes a massive headline, and every miss becomes a meme. And Croatia's tactical masterminds know exactly how to target and break down players carrying such enormous expectations. Meanwhile, Croatia's veteran stars play with absolute freedom, knowing that the global football community does not expect them to dominate. This complete lack of expectations makes them incredibly dangerous. Now, let us dive deep into the actual tactics of this matchup. Most casual fans assume England should attack aggressively from the first minute. However, I strongly disagree with this approach. A frantic, high-pressing start is exactly what Croatia wants, as they thrive on structural chaos and catching opponents off guard. The Croatian squad loves emotional football, playing at a fast tempo that disrupts their opponent's tactical discipline and organization. They excel in chaotic situations. The more open and stretched the pitch becomes, the more transition opportunities begin to appear. If England loses tactical control and reacts emotionally, this crucial match immediately transforms into an unpredictable 50-50 coin flip. And here is my absolute hottest take of the tournament: England's primary enemy on the pitch is not Croatia. Their biggest enemy is England itself, specifically the paralyzing fear of failure that has haunted their national team for generations. They carry the crushing weight of relentless pressure from passionate fans and a highly critical sports media looking for mistakes. It is the immense pressure of carrying decades of national disappointment and failed campaigns onto the pitch every single game. The Croatian players do not carry that heavy psychological burden into the match. England, unfortunately, bears it entirely alone. This is precisely why every single World Cup tournament feels completely different for these two very unique footballing nations. Croatia plays with the pride of making history, while England plays with the constant dread of repeating past failures. There is a massive difference there. Now, before furious England supporters start typing angry comments down in the section below, we must ask the obvious question: can England actually win this match? Yes, absolutely, they have the quality to do so. In fact, looking at the roster, England probably should win because their overall squad is objectively stronger and more complete. Their squad depth is vastly superior, and their attacking lineup is undeniably one of the most dangerous in the entire tournament. However, World Cups are never won by FIFA ratings or paper values. They are won by sheer mental resilience and grit. And if this highly anticipated game devolves into a brutal battle of nerves, I am backing Croatia to win every time. So here is my official prediction for the match. England will definitely not dominate the flow of play as expected. England will struggle significantly, and Croatia is going to shock a lot of casual football fans with their relentless performance. Perhaps not with an outright win, but definitely with a performance reminding everyone why they are a dangerous tournament team. Now, I want to hear from you. Is England truly a favorite, or will Croatia expose their massive hidden weakness? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe for more controversial World Cup analyses, match predictions, and debates. But the debate doesn't end there. To truly understand this matchup, we must look at where the battle is won: the midfield. Croatia's legendary trio of Luka Modric, Mateo Kovacic, and Marcelo Brozovic has run the show for nearly a decade. They don't rely on speed or strength. They rely on tempo, passing angles, and absolute control under heavy pressure. England's midfield, likely anchored by Declan Rice, will have to chase shadows if they cannot disrupt Croatia's rhythm early. If Jude Bellingham gets dragged too deep to help defend, England loses their main transition threat to the attackers. Let's look back at the 2018 World Cup semi-final, where England took an early lead but lost control. Croatia slowly suffocated England's midfield, exposing a lack of technical retention when the game slowed down to a crawl. Since then, England has grown. But have they developed the tactical patience needed to break down a low block? Croatia's defense is anchored by Joko Gvardiol, one of the most complete and expensive modern defenders in the world. Gvardiol knows England's attackers intimately from the Premier League, giving Croatia a massive psychological and tactical advantage. Meanwhile, England's defense has often looked vulnerable when transition moments turn into chaotic, fast-paced counterattacks. If Croatia can transition quickly through Kramaric or their wingers, England's backline will face serious, isolated pressure. Then there is the mental side. Croatia thrives when games go to extra time, possessing unmatched physical endurance. They have won 4 World Cup penalty shootouts since 2018, proving their nerves of steel when everything is on the line. England's history with penalties is filled with heartbreak, creating a psychological barrier that is hard to overcome. In a tournament context, that mental edge is often worth more than a billion-pound squad on paper. So as we look ahead to 2026, don't just look at the names on the team sheets, look at the resilience, the tactical discipline, and the ability to suffer together under the brightest lights. That is why Croatia remains England's ultimate nightmare. Who do you think wins this tactical war? Let us know below.